When I was at the worst of burnout, a lot of the advice I got was so inaccessible to me. And if you're there right now, hopefully this helps you a little. So I'm gonna get this one out of the way. Number one for me was turning down the alarm, my brain's alarm. And I had to do that with medication. One of the first things that helped me was finally deciding to talk to my doctor about the anxiety I was living, and reluctantly went on anti-anxiety medication. The thing is, with a lot of people who need medication for anxiety, we're too anxious to start new medications. Anyway, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you need to be on that. I'm saying that was one of the things that helped me turn off my constant alarm about every single thing, because that's not normal. That's not how we're supposed to live. We're not supposed to be constantly anxious about every little thing. Anti-anxiety medication didn't magically make me better, but it helped with the panic attacks that were a daily occurrence at that point. If you feel that type of anxiety constantly, you deserve help. It's not your fault that you feel that way. It's literally chemicals in the brain that aren't doing the right things. Yeah. So just talk to a doctor or therapist if you have one. Talk to them about this, because you deserve to not constantly feel like everything's about to crumble. Number two, getting help from home. Because it's really easy for anybody who's not completely burnt out to say, go see a doctor, go see your therapist, seek help, talk to your people, go see friends. But when you're deep in it, it's not even possible. It's not only that it doesn't feel possible, your body won't necessarily let you go, let you leave the house. Yeah, go to therapy. Sounds like great advice, right? When you're in that situation. But when you're burnt out, go to therapy means get out of bed, take a shower, brush your teeth, get in the car, drive, feel safe enough to drive, get there, find a parking, wave or nod at random people that nod at you, get to the building, sit in a waiting room, go in for an hour, talk it out, cry, go through a lot, and then have to go back in your car and do everything on the way back. So when you're burnt out, it feels impossible. It is. For me, it was impossible. So the thing that really helped was finding doctors and therapists that were willing to talk to me over the phone for the first while. That was a lifesaver for me. So if you're too tired to do some research and find those people, ask somebody who's close to you to find you a therapist that's willing to do phone therapy, not even video call, not in the beginning. Because taking appointments from my bed on my phone, where I could still literally be laying down in my PJs, because the world was spinning at that point. Getting up gave me vertigo, intense vertigo, and I had a hard time walking from the bed to the bathroom. So taking appointments from my bed on my phone whenever possible for the first 3 to 4 months for me, whatever works for you, was a lifesaver. So yeah, getting help doesn't mean you need to force yourself to do more. Okay, number 3 is something you can do right now and really whenever. And this is going to sound too simple because it's something you hear a lot, but it is the first thing that made me feel better. And it's a certain breathing technique. So for me, being told by my therapist to breathe, take deep breaths, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm completely burnt out, my nervous system's shot, I literally feel like I'm dying. Telling me to breathe doesn't help. I wasn't that rude, but that's what I was thinking. But she explained to me that breathing in for 5 seconds, so inhaling for 5 seconds, holding for 5 seconds, and exhaling for 7 seconds was a way to tell your nervous system to get out of fight mode, a way to calm yourself down. So whenever I would feel anxiety rising, I would do 5 seconds in, 5-second hold, and 7 seconds out. The amount of seconds doesn't matter as much as the exhale needs to be at least a few seconds longer than the inhale. It tells your nervous system that you're not in danger. The reason for it is our bodies won't let us breathe like that if there's an actual bear attack or something. And it might not help immediate. It will help. It will certainly, if you're close to a panic attack or close to anxiety or anything, it will help if you do it 5 to 10 times in a row. It really does calm you down, but it helps in the long run as well. She explained it to me like this. She said, your cup is full to the brim with water. The cup that tells your body to panic, basically. So for years, every experience, every stressor kind of just got put in there. And now anything that could even remotely possibly be taken as danger. So feeling my heart skip a beat, or being tired for days on end and being anxious about it. Any little thing like that made me feel unsafe would make it overflow. So that would make my anxiety rise up and my body feel like it needed to react like I was being chased by a bear when I wasn't. So she explained to me that every time you do that breathing exercise, it's not just going to magically empty that cup, but what it will do is like take a spoonful out every time, so that when a phone call comes in, if you've been doing those breathing exercises maybe for 4 or 5 days, if a call comes in, your body doesn't react like it's being chased by a bear anymore, because you have a little bit of space in that cup. So again, hearing breathing exercise made me roll my eyes at first, but it quickly became the thing I would go to multiple times a day. I could do it laying down, I could do it sitting, I could do it in the middle of an appointment over the phone. I could do it whenever my anxiety was starting to build up. And I have to be honest with you, it's the first thing that gave me hope that I wasn't completely lost. So I encourage you to do that, because it's free and easy and something you can do whenever. It also helped me a lot in the beginning to help me fall asleep at night. Number 4 was moving my body in ways I wouldn't have considered moving my body before. Because obviously people are gonna tell you to go outside, take a walk, because it's regulating. But when you're at that point of burnout, forget about it. For me at least, I couldn't even consider going outside. Going outside was too many steps. Not physical steps, but too many steps. So it helped, and it's like a nervous system regulation thing. When you're that burnt out, all of a sudden, especially when you're able to bring the anxiety down a little, you go from being in constant fight or flight for me, it was probably over a decade. You can go from that to freeze mode instead of recovery. So movement is really nice because it brings you out of freeze without bringing you back to fight or flight. So what I was suggested to do by a therapist was to find a way to move without actually demanding anything of my body, because I was completely burnt out. My body didn't want to move. Ways that were suggested to me were rocking in a rocking chair, or just kind of swaying from side to side, even if it was just in bed or sitting down. What I ended up doing, I had a fabric yoga swing. So I used that. I would sit in it and just sway back and forth. In the beginning, I only did it 2 to 3 times a week, whenever I mustered the energy to do it. But eventually that became more, because I was out of freeze mode and still not getting myself into fight or flight. That, I'll make a different video on that for when you're starting to feel a little better, because other things definitely do help when you're starting to regain energy. So that was number 4, moving your body in ways that don't demand anything from your body, basically. So swaying, if you have a rocking chair, or just even swaying if you're sitting or if you're lying down, it's a good way to regulate yourself. Number 5, a few minutes in the sun. Take expectations way down. I don't mean go outside. If you can't go outside, don't worry about it. Have somebody open the blinds for you, maybe for like 5 minutes. If you're able to sit next to the window, have the window open if it's nice out. Just a few minutes, if you can, every day, where you're connected with nature or the outside world without having to participate really in it in the beginning. Not yet. It'll come. It comes back. It does come back. the energy does come back. But in the beginning, if you can just get a little bit of sun and a little bit of seeing greenery, even if it's from inside, it helped me a lot. Number 6, letting people speak for me. So my husband and mother had already gone through their own burnout. I don't want to say I was lucky, because I don't wish that on anybody, but I was really lucky to have people that understood what I was going through. Because if you haven't dealt with burnout, there's literally no way to actually understand it. I would let them speak for me, and that is very much against everything I have inside. I don't like asking for help, but that's one of the reasons we're probably burnt out, right? So if you don't have anybody in your life that's dealt with burnout, completely understandable. Just find someone you really trust so you can answer their questions and give them the information you want. Somebody you don't have to fake who you are with. Somebody who you don't have to perform with, just to explain that you're burnt out, and ask them to deal with people for you. So when your friends call, or a parent wants to know what's wrong, the days that you're literally unable to answer any questions, you can just say, hey, they're gonna answer for me, and let them be the buffer between you and the world for a little bit. Give yourself that grace. It helped me a lot. Because explaining burnout over and over and over again to different people, when you know they can't understand, and when you don't even understand yourself, it's a lot. And some days talking feels like too much. Yeah. Number 7, sleep. As much as you need. Oh my God, did I ever sleep? I slept so much once I finally stopped. Once my body made me have no other choice, I did start sleeping. Once I was able to get the anxiety out with the breathing exercises, I was able to sleep, and I slept. I would nap. I'd wake up, take a shower, and go back to bed for a nap. I would wake up, grab a bite to eat, like something really easy, and sometimes I had to nap again, and I wouldn't have a problem sleeping at night. So don't feel like you're failing if your body is asking for that much sleep. If you've burnt out, it's because your body has been so depleted for so long. Just give it time to recuperate. And it can be like really difficult mentally, because you're like, okay, other people are at work. There's 1,000 things I should be doing. I should be better by now. I've slept for a week, but I just need you to know that I slept, and that if you need to sleep, you sleep. If you're able to sleep, sleep. A nap doesn't mean you're failing at anything. It's actually just pointing at the fact that your body finally feels safe enough to sleep. And that's good. That's part of recovery. You're good. Number 8 for me was watching really dumb television. So I did have my comfort shows that I put on from time to time, but what I really needed was a way for my brain to stop nagging at me. I needed my brain to let me rest, because you feel like you're supposed to be doing stuff and you physically can't. I put on Love Island. I had never watched it. This was 4 years ago. There was still like, I don't know, something like 8 seasons in the UK, like 4 seasons or something in the US. So I had a lot that I could just put on. I started from season 1, and it was on whenever my brain wouldn't shut up. I needed something that I could put on, doze off, come back, kind of just get lost in thought and come back, and not have any attachment to the show, or any, like, if you've ever watched it, you know that you can skip a week and you still understand what's happening. It's dumb TV. It's good dumb TV. I'm not, like, no judgment. It's just that I needed something that was easy to digest, like easy on the brain. I didn't need to concentrate to understand. And eventually it quieted down my brain. It was really nice. I could fall asleep to it. For at least a month, I think, I had Love Island on, just on my cell phone in bed, or on a laptop in bed most of the day, just to let myself rest and distract my busy brain. Again, if you've burnt out, chances are your brain goes on and on and on. Yeah, so it's silly, but it helped me a lot. Number 9 is eating whatever food I could eat. So something that not a lot of people expect with burnout is how tiring eating is, how much energy it takes to make food and even chew it. So for me, it was making sure I had enough protein, basically, and enough fiber. So all I did was order a lot of Greek yogurt and a lot of soups, because chewing felt like too much, especially in the beginning. And a Greek yogurt would fill me up, and soup would as well, and I'd get nutrients from it. No judgment for yourself on that. Just make sure you're getting vitamins, because it's easy to go for days without eating when you're that burnt out. But if you're able to, definitely chew if you can. But it was too much at that point for me. So it was a lot of soup and Greek yogurt for me for months. So just don't judge yourself for it. And if you have someone living with you, or if you have people in your life that can bring you food, accept the help. Take it. You're allowed to need help, and you're allowed to accept help. You've helped enough people. You've helped them. You've helped everyone for a very long time. Let yourself be helped. You need it. Your body decided it was taking over because you wouldn't listen to the cues. Now you let people help you. And if that's them bringing you soup, that's great. Thank you. Another thing you don't have to think about. And let other people do the dishes. If you live with other people, let other people take care of you. Okay? You're not failing at anything. So the main things I ate for the first month or two were protein shakes, Greek yogurt, fiber 1 bars, soup, watermelon. Yeah, so just don't judge yourself. Okay? You need to eat, and if it's in liquid form, just make sure there's nutrients in there, or have somebody else make sure there's nutrients in there. All you have to ask yourself is, what feels possible to put in my body right now? And if that's a protein shake, and if that's ice cream because it's cold and it's the only thing that doesn't feel like it's gonna make you throw up, it's ice cream. Okay? Number 10, making everything softer. And this might connect almost everything else on this list, but a thing that really helped me was making everything in my life softer and easier, because just making decisions was impossible, was too exhausting. What should I eat? What the hell am I supposed to be doing to get better? Every tiny decision felt huge. So I decided to make everything easier, softer, and I started choosing comfort for myself. Like comfortable, soft clothes that weren't tight. It's August, I'm sweating in my car, and I'm still in nice, comfortable sweaters 4 years after the worst of burnout. So that got a little addictive. But soft clothes, soft, big, heavy blankets, spending time with my husband and dogs and my mom, because she really understood what I was going through. Just making my circle so small that it was just people who really understood how I was feeling and that I didn't have to pretend in front of. I ate the easy food, the soft food. I watched the easy television, taking my appointments over the phone, letting other people speak for me, letting other people take care of me. And if somebody could make a decision that I didn't have to make, fantastic. Because for a very long time, the question I had was, what should I be able to handle? Or, I should be able to handle this. What the hell's wrong with me? And as soon as I changed it to, how do I make my life softer and easier? Because that's actually the most productive thing I can do right now. Because clearly, the way of life I was living brought me so much exhaustion that my body took over and my nervous system took over, and they decided no more. So obviously, rest and letting people do things for you and not being constantly in control of every little single thing, and learning to be that person was very productive. And it changed everything for me. It really did. Still working on it, don't get me wrong. But learning to do that at the worst of burnout, learning to accept that soft is okay, that you get to be comfortable, that you get to let other people make decisions for you on your behalf. Amazing. So when I look back at what actually helped me when I was at the worst part of my burnout, it's when I finally decided that it was okay for my life to become easier and softer for a while. That it wasn't a moral failure, that I wasn't failing at life. When I actually started to see changes was when I stopped trying to make everything productive. When I changed the definition of productive to mean rest and recovery for a while because clearly it was the most productive thing I could do. I stopped trying to rebuild or to see how well I could perform. I stopped trying to prove I could still function because I couldn't. I stopped trying to be the person I was right before burnout and just accept that this was a big wake-up call for me, that things needed to be softer for a good while. So what I did, and what these 10 things that helped me did, was do everything that I could to make life require less from me. And it's not a forever thing, but it's a now thing when you're in the worst of it. So it looked like therapy over the phone in bed under my covers during a panic attack in the beginning. It looked like swaying on my yoga swing instead of exercising. It looked like sitting at my window and letting the sun come in for a few minutes instead of going for a walk. It looked like easy prepackaged food like Greek yogurt or protein shakes instead of cooking. Finally letting myself rest and sleep instead of constantly pushing back. I chose comfort for the first time I can actually remember. And because of it, I actually started recovering. I was able to start doing more. I started being able to walk around the house and eventually around, just up and down the street outside, and eventually around the block. Started wanting things again. I started being interested in things again and wanting to do my hobbies again. My world slowly started to get bigger again. I was still in burnout, and that stage of burnout has its own set of little things that helped. So that's going to be a part 2 for this, for when burnout is not at the total worst, but you're still just gaining a little bit of energy here and there. So that's going to be a part 2. But if you're at the stage where I'm talking about in this video, maybe you don't have to figure anything else out today. Even if you just take a few of these things and try them. Try breathing, try swaying, try not judging yourself so much for not cooking. Just try to make everything easier for yourself. Or at least start with one thing. Make one thing easier for yourself. Because when I was at the worst of it, that mattered a hell of a lot more than doing anything impressively. Things do eventually get better. Okay? I'll see you in part 2. Love you guys. Bye.